started on the sidewalk, notebook dreams, pen in the pocket, chasing moonbeam schemes. Then the world spun, AI in my lane. Typed a prompt, watch the magic rain. Claude in my corner, chat GP2. But after a while, they just missed the view. Needed more, needed drive, needed to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, guess what we got going on today? We are taking it to the next level because we are 2 years old today. My name is Ekello Harrid, and this is my crew, and we are here to entertain you. Let's do this, y'all. Now, this is y'all know what to do. Here we go.
I don't hear any music, but I'm with you.
Come on.
You don't hear that?
She's not adminning. She's not adminning, so she can't hear it. All right, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
hear it. I forgot to give Stacey the laugh. I haven't had nearly enough alcohol to drink on camera or to dance on camera.
Oh my goodness, welcome everyone. How you all doing? Looks like we got 16 people in the room for our big celebration. We are here. 2 years we have been doing this crap. I mean, this is crazy. It's like crazy. You know what's crazy is even my old channel is like now. I mean, because I'm pretty sure within a week we started all of this together, or else I wouldn't have even met everybody over here.
The channel will be 2 years old in July. The channels will be 2 years old in July. That's when we made the channels.
Come on, y'all. It's been so great.
We met a year and a half ago, so you were 6 months in.
This is crazy. This is and the relationships we've built, the software we've built, the community we've built, the mastermind that we've built. We have built a complete ecosystem, and I have to tell you, I'm going to give the props to the lady because she won't do it to herself. Her name is Elizabeth Ann West, and she is the CEO of the Future Fiction Academy. We thank you, Elizabeth, for pulling all of us into this craziness that we call educating people in the creative field with artificial intelligence.
But it wasn't me.
Okay, who was it then?
It was Stephanie J. Pajonas.
Well,
what happened was.
Tell the origin story.
Tell the story.
So the origin story is that both Steph and I started working with AI at about the same time towards the end of 2022. So there was a bunch of authors, believe it or not, who were doing it quietly, playing with DaVinci, playing with pseudo-write. I was chasing people all 2022 at NINC in Vegas with my lappy toppy and showing people pseudo-write. This is before pseudo-write even knew I existed. This is before I even worked for them.
Wow, it sounds very familiar to me. Who also did that? I think I did something very similar.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's how we knew we were kindred spirits. So at any rate, unfortunately, my position with pseudo-write did not work out. And I was leaving New York crying, and I called Steph. I don't know why I called her. We weren't even that close, but like she understood, and she's like, "That's it. We're going into business together." And I went, "Okay." And that is like a month later, we launched the Future Fiction Academy, where we decided we were going to focus on education because we thought that was the most important thing for our peers. And then about a month later, we were drowning. It was my stupid idea that we were doing 8 classes a week.
Yes, you did.
I started the FFA thinking people would only want 1 recording a week. And then everyone was like, "No, we need everything recorded." And I'm like, everything recorded. So then we started recording everything, but then you have to edit everything. And let me tell you something, Descript did not exist yet. There was no like AI editing tools very much. I mean, I don't even know what we used in those early days.
Oh no, we did. We used Descript. It was brand new.
No, at first we were using something else.
No, yeah, we were using.
Oh no! Oh, I remember. It was that Zoom utility tool.
Yeah, there was a couple things we went through before. It was 6 months before we were using Descript even.
Descript came that fall, I think.
Yeah.
At any rate, this is the origin story of how Stacey got involved. So we were drowning. drowning. And in one class, I just was like, if anyone wants to help with video editing, let me know. And Stacy was in my DMs, and Stacy asked if she could come and be a part of the FFA, and I was like, yes. And so she's been with us literally since like 2 months that we started. So it was like May we started the FFA, and then July we started with Stacy. So it's been some bumps and bruises. We've made some mistakes along the way. Joe didn't join the team until later that year. And that was another one of those, hey, can I pretty please make software for you guys that you can use in your prompting classes? And I'm like, I have no startup money. I have no capital. We are bootstrapping this thing. He was like, that's okay. I just want to make it. So Joe made all of the software, the original Rexy on spec, and he got a pay per person. You know, if it was selling, he would get a cut of it. And now he's one of the 4 owners of Future Fiction Press LLC.
It's true.
It's kind of crazy.
Can I say something? Just I see, you know, Steph Riley mentioning most likely because of the leaders. Like, I love how many women are part of the FFA. Having hung out with the 3 of you now in Vegas at Author Nation and in New Orleans at the Writer MBA, I have to say, there's no better possible leaders for authors really anywhere in the age of AI that I've seen. Y'all are just incredible teachers and leaders of people. And also, there are no male author leaders in this age of AI yet. They have yet to step up. Y'all have stepped up out in front and are leading the way and leading the community. And there are no male counterparts yet. Like, as a guy, I'm not a traditional author, though. I'm a technologist. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a writer, but I'm not like the 3 of you. So it has been incredible.
That's for real. Ain't nobody like the 3 of y'all.
Right? See, it is a powerful trio.
There are some.
Yeah, they're working on it. Derek Slayton, for example, has been really innovative with his YouTube channel. He was one of the first indie authors really doing AI audio on YouTube, and he has blown up. Jason Hamilton also has the Nerdy Novelist.
The other Derek.
Derek Murphy.
Derek Murphy. Yeah. I almost was like the adorable Derek. No offense to Derek Slayton, but Derek Murphy is absolutely adorable.
Yes.
Derek Murphy. Yep, also very big in AI too. But I would have to say that another woman who really started the call on this was actually not the 3 of us. It's Joanna Penn.
Joanna Penn.
Joanna.
Yes.
Joanna. What?
And I've known Joe for many, many years. And I can remember being wide and going to one of her talks.
She was talking about, she's had her podcast for how long now? And
probably, 12 years, 13 years?
I think she's coming in on 15.
15,
right? She started in like before 2000. Wait, no, before 2010.
I was going to say
2009. 2009.
I don't feel like
I'm sorry. I immediately go way back. 2009, I think. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're very humble, but you know what I can say definitively without a doubt, nobody else has an academy teaching authors AI that's 2 years old today.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
No, it's true.
No.
I applaud you, and everybody should.
We have over 12,000 student members of the Future Fiction Academy in 2 years. 12,000 people have signed up for the Intro to AI Basics and all of that. So if anyone is watching this and thinking like there's not that many authors learning about AI,
yes, there are.
Wrong. It's time. It's done past time for you to learn about AI. Danny says that Joe started when podcasts were podcasts and iPods were a thing. That is true. Those are facts.
That is true.
As soon as she got a chance to like witness the original GPT, she had someone on her podcast who was using like the janky little like Da Vinci or something before that where where you literally had to put like 3 sentences together and it would give you those 3 sentences and then you could pull them over and then you could type in something. It was crazy.
I think it was 2020 she was I remember her talking about AI and
Yeah.
I
Yep.
first saw the training for AI being talked about in 2017, 2018. There was some people who were raising money through authors to try to analyze manuscripts and stuff like that. And I was actually anti AI back then. I was in the forums because it was so nascent at that point. Like OpenAI wasn't even really an apple in anyone's eye yet in 2017.
It was an abstract concept.
Yeah. And I was like, y'all, you're giving your manuscripts to be trained on. They're going to train on it more than just how your writing quality is. And they're like, no, they would never. So I've watched this train kind of picking up steam for a long time. And it was 2022 when I finally was like reminded. I mean, I'd seen the technology a couple of times over the years, but 2022 is when Christine actually showed me pseudowrite, and I could see like, and then I did a deeper dive and I found Da Vinci and all this other stuff. I was like, because pseudowrite's a wrapper, just like Raptorite, PlotDrive, they're all wrappers. We don't have our own LLM models and stuff that we're doing. So
boy, that would be like, it would be nice to have that kind of money.
What?
To be able to train our own models. Oh my goodness. If we had that kind of money, boy,
it was prohibitively expensive. I think it's only just now starting to get within the realm for smaller models. Would you agree, Jay?
Yes, but still loads of money. But yes.
Yeah.
Loads.
I've only read about DeepSeek, which was able to do it more resource constrained. But then I did meet a founder who's training their own models, but was telling me they've got like a farm somewhere where they're just hoarding GPUs that attract lots of like very large spiders. So they have like people who are in charge of also just sweeping out the spiders constantly. So
it's like a crypto farm.
Not like spiders crawling the internet.
Oh no, like legitimate like arachnids who are like infesting and drawn to like the water source.
Yeah.
And that was how they managed to make it affordable. So
oh my god, debugging, LOL.
Yeah, literally.
Those crypto farms back in Croatia and stuff like that, they have big pest problems because they'll put them in the woods and
it's nice and warm.
Well, no, they'll put them in the woods because they'll be next to like water sources so that they can get power from the water sources. And some of the crap that crawls out of the woodwork, it's crazy. But what were we talking about?
Today we decided our phrase is not one stone kills two birds. It is three snakes die with one knife. Yeah, one knife, one knife, three snakes.
So we've been doing this for 2 years, y'all. I mean, literally, I remember seeing I think Leland's was one of the first videos that I saw where he was explaining something like the super prompt, or what did we
the mega prompt?
The mega prompt. The mega prompt. Where we were he was just describing this thing. He was like, well, you can do this, and it was very cerebral, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And then I saw another video from someone else with the same like boom, 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 thing in the beginning, and I was like, oh, this is a group of people doing this. And it was very exciting. And then I realized it was the future fiction. Uh-oh.
And what did I tell you when you came to me about the name? What did I say? How did I know
that lots of people get on ChatGPT and ask very similar questions?
It was the same name, and we just changed the factory to Academy.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the options. It was one of the options.
So funny.
So that's a good point. Leland did parameters, hyperparameters. He didn't actually call them hyperparameters. That's actually the name of what those things are inside of the. I mean, yes, he did tell you guys all those hyperparameters, but as far as naming goes, that was named by the LLM community and all of that. That's what those little doodads are. But Leland was the one who figured out that you could ramp up the temperature on ChatGPT and lower the top P.
It was a revelation.
Yes. And it would write like Claude.
It was a revelation.
that was a huge breakthrough on hyperparameters. And even to this day, authors still struggle to get hyperparameter functionality in tools for them to write. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, plot drive that gives us temperature, but no top P.
Oh yeah.
We want top P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice. It would be nice if you had a toggle for advanced functions.
Yeah.
And then you could put both of them under that. And well, actually, no, just advanced functions.
Have you ever seen, Jay, if you jack up the temperature and you lower the basically the pool, so it only can pull from the higher percentage words. Basically, you tell the model, be as crazy as you want, but then like be realistic with your crazy.
Yeah. I just type be as crazy as you want at the end of my prompt, then just hit go.
But that doesn't always work.
Why did that just seem like a scene from a Fast and Furious movie? I tell it to go as crazy as I want to do, and I hit go. I was like, holy crap, Jay.
I remember Code Interpreter and how crazy that was. You hacked Code Interpreter to upload text documents.
I felt so bad. Jason and I, we have a good relationship now, but back in the early days, we had a little, or at least on my side, there was a little rivalry there because he would make he would make a video and he'd be like, this can't write. And I'm like, hold my bonnet. And then I would figure out how to make Code Interpreter. Yeah. So in Code Interpreter, I know I blew a lot of people away when I was having it make medical examiner reports.
Oh, that was one of my favorites.
And then put those in and then say, make a story out of this. And people were like, what? You can do that? I'm like, yeah.
Do you know till this
there was
day,
no uploads, no nothing.
Till this day, that video still performs.
Yep.
We should take that down because it is so not
so
applicable.
out of
so
date.
old.
No, but it's a good history of the progress of these language. I don't know if y'all realize it, but we have absolute superpowers now compared to what we had 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years ago we thought we were the hot crap, and I wasn't gonna say crap. I'm telling you, we thought we were doing some stuff like a year ago, but my goodness.
Do you remember using Claude in Slack?
Claude in Slack.
Remember? Shut down, right?
Yeah.
You lost your Slack.
No,
Yes,
no,
it was the shared
for author Slack.
For the AI writing authors group, and we lost it because people were writing sex with Claude, and we kept telling people don't do it, and then we lost
do
it.
that. And they did it anyway.
Yeah, they did it anyway.
And then I made 2 of my own because as soon as you said, if you do this, it'll get taken away. I'm like, someone's going to do this. So I made my own and a second one.
Just in case. And was that?
I wrote a whole book with that.
Was that Claude 2.0?
That was
it was Claude 1.0
instant. It was 1.2.
Instant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we literally had 4.0 come out yesterday.
Yeah.
And I played around with it. Did I play around with it? Oh my goodness. So I have this experiment that I do. Everybody knows this reader thing that I love to like play around with, where I make a reader, has highlighted things. If you hit the highlight things, it plays music. It plays specific music for whatever the mood is in. I do it all the time on the videos, and I spin this thing up, and it made the prettiest front end I've seen in so long. It just caught my heart. I was like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I got a tear.
And then by version 5, it'll have the music files already built in there, and it'll actually functionally work.
I think I can, I think there's a way that I can have, I can point it to some files on my own computer in like Cursor or Windsurf or something like that, and then have it build. Oh.
If only we had an expert on vibe coding. Jay.
Yes.
Jay, you do a lot of vibe coding, bro.
Yes, you do.
I do. I took a slight reprieve to bring in a friend to work with us who is an actual coder. But now with Claude 4, I'm going back in. And,
well, 2.5 Pro is for Google Gemini. We are having a week, y'all. We are having a week, and we end the
I
whole
didn't even
week.
travel.
Huh?
I didn't even travel. The joke is every time I travel, we get a new model or something that.
And we got like
I'm
3
happy
this
back
week.
home, and we got good stuff.
Moving so fast.
And Sam Altman and Johnny Ive got married in front of everybody.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh my gosh, that video is
wedding.
Have y'all seen the video? It's so
I'm
great.
like,
it's so great. I mean, Johnny, as one of the guys on the Verge cast says, or some other, maybe even Pivot said, "Oh my goodness, Johnny Ive has the most confident walk you have ever seen."
I was gonna say he's like swinging his arms while he walks. Like,
hello, I'm Johnny Ive. I'm walking down the street in San Francisco. I'm gonna kick your butt if you get anywhere near me. I own the street. That's how he was walking, y'all. It was beautiful. And then you go into this beautiful little cafe, and Sam, who's also walking down the street, just seems like he's just walking down the street with nobody around him. And they come into this place and basically say, "I love you." And the other one says, "I love you." And that's why we spent $6 billion. $6 billion on 55 people. 300 and some change million per head of person.
What are you talking about?
That's how Johnny Ive has a company called IO.
Yes.
That OpenAI just bought for $6.5 billion. There are only 55 people in the company.
They're not just the 55, but hold on. These are 55 of the top geniuses in major fields. So it's not like, this is, and I watched it, and I went to AI in hopes, because, they didn't say what they're building, right? They just kind of like hinted at a device to beat all devices.
Mm-hmm.
I went and asked AI to see if it knew anything. Ooh. Like, just in case, like, it's like trained. No.
And what did it say?
It didn't come up with anything exciting. I was like, boo hiss.
I'm wondering if it's another entry into the glasses market. It can't be a phone. It can't be a phone.
We've already been there, done that, and it turns out people don't really like the feel of things on them that they're not used to already wearing on a regular basis.
The Wall Street Journal leaked, or I don't know if it's a leak or whatever. They talked to them. They said it's like a third device that you would put out next to a MacBook and an iPhone that doesn't have a screen. So it's like a puck or something like that.
So, maybe that's interesting. So maybe it's just.
So it's just maybe it's a very passive device. It just sits there and gathers data.
Yeah. And maybe it makes your phone. But they were talking about it was inspired by reckoning with all the screens that they sort of developed in society. So maybe it doesn't make your other devices better, but maybe it does too. I don't know. It's very mysterious, but it seems to be not glasses, like a unique device.
It makes sense. So basically, I think, what is it? MCP?
Yeah.
Right.
So if everyone starts adopting MCP, right? Is it MCP protocols, or is that like saying ATM machine?
That is like saying ATM machine.
That's a good question. I was thinking about
it. It is like saying
I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Model context protocol servers, or MCP. Model context protocol.
Yeah. MCP servers. You could say that.
Okay. So we have these new protocol servers for AI, and just like Bluetooth really expanded how many devices could work within each other, I'm thinking something along that technology. If your puck can go around with you, and then somehow, so then all you have to do is update the operating systems of all of these devices that we already have, rather than trying to invent another device, as evidenced by when, like, remember the Fire phone? Nobody wanted another iPhone. Like, you have iPhone and you have Android. That's pretty much who won the wars. So if you have this AI puck that can process information, it's basically like your pocket Alexa or whatever, and it can interact with all of your individual devices. Plus, it remembers interacting with you. So every device you go to, even third-party devices that have this protocol or whatever, you can now have your unique experience.
Yeah,
And I
maybe like
thought
it
was
has
a
it
55.
knows. Yeah, like it could know all the stuff on your computers and just allow you to sort of experience what it's like to be connected without even being around them because it has these tools. Yeah, interesting.
It was something Kevin McLaughlin, another genius author in the AI or early AI space too. He also admins AI writing for authors. One of his early predictions, our first year being open, was that eventually we would all have like our own personal model available on our computers. And I was like, people are still using computers that should not be using computers right now. So I don't know how long it's going to take for that to adopt. But if you could have a different device that has the memory and stuff like that, and it's just sending packets of information, it's like you've got your own pocket internet that's just walking around with you.
I still think it's a risky and weird and hard proposition to try and add another device to a person's life. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do. I mean, we saw
When
this
you
whole
when
thing.
you swing your arms like Johnny Ive, I think you got the mojo to do it.
He definitely is a confident man. He is definitely confident. But he is.
And by the way, the chat is available for everyone to see. It's a new feature inside of.
Yeah, it's right there. It's like,
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. So how did we?
there's a little toggle up at the top of the thing, show comments on stage.
I read the notes that StreamYard gave me when I logged in.
Oh, not me.
Okay, Bill has a good point. At what point does privacy truly die? Oh, it's done dead. It's been dead.
It's been dead.
Well, if you think about the whole like Google Meta thing, we basically gave all of our information to them to do with what we will. I mean, so yeah, it's dead.
We traded our privacy for free software a long ass time ago.
But the software is so cool.
All right. Stacy, not to put you on the spot, maybe you want to think about it for a little bit, but what are some of the top moments of AI in the last 2 years for you that just you have a very specific phrase we've adopted in the FFA that it's crazy pants. So this is the crazy pants meter of Stacy, and I would love to know some of the things that have made you go, well, this is crazy pants, and it made you glad that you were studying this stuff or working with it.
I would even say it's outside of just writing. It's like when I saw Sora for the first time, not even when we were introduced to it, but when they were teasing it, it really blew my mind because that was even 9 full months before they would put it out. They showed us like the teaser of it, and it was just, they typed in, I think it was like paper airplanes or something from what I remember. And I was like, oh crap, this is going to be like, you can type in, it's not words anymore, it's video. That's when I realized it was going to be multimedia. You're going to be able to make so much come to life this way. And that, I remember that just blowing my mind. And it's still in the early stages. Like even now, if you go to any of the videos, it's a lot of work, a lot of editing. It's still in the early stages, but it's going to come to that. Anybody can put together a movie, a studio, their own, like an ebook is just the beginning of how to make your ideas come to life. Like
IP. It's it's everything is IP. And I hate, some people hate the phrase content. Okay, let's not call it content. Let's call it intellectual property that you get to use in many different ways. You get to write a book right out of your head. That book can instantly become a comic book or instantly become a movie, or instantly become a little television show, or instantly become a little animated short, or
We're not quite at instantly yet, but we're gonna get there.
I don't know, y'all. I mean,
thinking author is much too narrow anymore. It's storyteller. I am a storyteller. I am a world builder. I am just an Imagineer, as DreamWorks says. Like you have so much you can bring to life, and in so many different ways, and it can be interactive. Like we've talked about this in a couple different ideas in the FFA, but you can have your audience can be interactive. It can be much more collaborative. So
we have the chat real time right now with people on the screen with us, like broadcasting, and that feature didn't exist last week.
And as fast as AI is coming, if this was my audience, which it is, but if it was, we were creating something, this could be incorporated in real time into a video, into, oh, God damn it. I'm going to start an 87th business at this point.
I know. We've started way too many businesses at this point.
My mouth shut sometimes.
This wasn't a business. It was just writing live is going to be a lot more fun for me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, you got that Hank problem. You know, the Vlog Brothers, they just start businesses left and right.
Oh, Lord.
Left and right, they start businesses.
And then, but yeah, and throwing ideas back and forth. And it's now watching just Elizabeth, or, well, Steph comes up with the ideas too, but it's Elizabeth that has like these
epiphanies from discussions. She has epiphanies from absent. I mean, you could just be having an abstract discussion about something else, and she'll go. And I'm like, uh-oh. What did I say?
All projects are on hold. We're doing
this. Is the first group of people, other than like April Floyd, that have allowed me to have my ideas, and you guys don't laugh at me for them. You don't go, I'm crazy. You don't say that'll never work. You guys all just go, all right, what are we doing? Tell me what we're doing.
What?
And it does. I mean, that's how we got Rexy.
Rexy led direct. All right, wait. All right, everybody, you have to wrap this around your head. How did we get Rexy? We got Rexy because we needed something. We needed something to kind of speed up our process. So we were starting to think through these ideas of sequencing and stuff way early, before we had something that we could really do that with big context windows. All that crap. We didn't have any context windows. Okay. So
we were sequencing with 4096.
Everything was 4,000 tokens. Everything.
That's all we had.
I just love learning Rexy because it's like, oh, you gotta load up your blackjacks, and then you gotta hit the big bang box.
Oh, and Stacy, that was Stacy's jam. She's like, okay, look, everybody, I figured out every blackjack because I just generated 17 books yesterday. I don't even know how I did it, other than I'm so smart. And so she literally. So we sound like right. Yes. Well, actually, my favorite thing is when we're in a meeting and it's time to twirl the hair. It's so great. I love those moments. But y'all have
I teach class, and then the next day, Stacy's got this Notion empire of like the one thing that I taught, and all of a sudden, Stacy has it like templatized, and it's amazing.
Something just massage her brain, and she goes, yep. "Ooh, I could do that."
She's like, "I'm going to take you, and I'm going to make it better."
Right. So Rexy leads directly to us understanding sequencing in a much more profound way. So what ends up happening is it leads directly into our deep understanding of N8N and how to build things, because we were building them internally before anybody was doing it.
Raptorite first.
Raptorite.
Don't forget about Raptorite, because we were sequencing stuff in Raptorite too.
I know Rexy 2 was only popular for 3 weeks because then we all found N8N, but don't forget Rexy 2. So
oh my God.
When it was Rexy and then Raptorite a year later, and then Rexy 2 and then N8N, and well, actually, after Raptorite, then we got the partnership with Plot Drive, with our buddies who had Realm Chef, and we had played with Realm Chef and stuff. Mm-hmm. So Plot Drive went out in January, and then came kind of around that same time we started playing with N8N and stuff like that. Poor Rexy 2 got abandoned. Carlos did so many classes on Rexy 2.
Carlos still doing classes.
Like, and Rexy 2 is great because we all learned Visual Studio Code because of Rexy 2.
Yes,
like
and it worked out.
We control, so we're still
yeah. And
today,
actually, with the advent of MCP servers and everything, I mean, we could actually probably make Rexy to a node, some type of node inside, so we could run a whole bunch of stuff over where in our local thing, and
You
then spit
wouldn't
it
do it
back
with
out.
Rexy 2. Rexy 2
I'm
is
just saying you could.
built
I
upside
don't
down
wanna.
and backwards, but that's all we knew at the time. Now we know better.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just was
Yeah,
you
Jen
could.
says all of my first N8N workflows were based off of Rexy 2 sequences.
Exactly. Everything kind of leads to the next thing. We're standing on the shoulders of ourselves who are like have been like working through this thing. You learn a new thing, and then all of a sudden you get a new thing. Reinforced the fine-tuning is, I mean, we had other fine-tuning and we worked the other fine-tuning, but it ain't like this fine-tuning. This is very,
We gotta get
I
off the
mean,
subject. I can't keep secrets.
Yeah, no talking about fine tuning.
Oh,
Please.
okay. All
You're
right.
torturing me.
All right. We need to move on. There's this really cool thing. It's called the FFA accelerator, everyone. We have a 90-day ability for you to write not 1, 2 books. Hi, Gracie. 2 books in 90 days. You get to work with us in the Future Fiction Academy at least once, maybe even twice a week in live classes so that you can work through things, talk about things, accountability. There's homework. You will write this book. You will write this book. I ain't going to say anything about you being able to publish it, but you will write this book. You will write this book. It's dinner time. She's done.
She's
with
like,
Oh,
it's dinner
that
time.
says there's somebody in the accelerator who's already written 1,800 pages. Y'all, the accelerator's not even a month old.
we made the accelerator so that people would not come to us and be like, I'm drowning in the fire hose of content that you guys have.
It's
Where do
really
I
hard.
start?
Finally
Where do I go
have
next?
a path for you to take so that you can learn this and you can write a book and then you can go on and do other stuff. We heard you loud and clear. Can't even tell you how many people would say it's a fire hose and I don't know how to drink from this fire hose.
I can't tell you how many people that are in the FFA right now that are sneaking into those accelerator classes.
Oh, they got access to it. It's all good.
Yes, they are. They're all in there going, "Oh crap! I didn't realize that." There's a lot of stuff that you have to learn, like on the fly, and and we all know it. I mean, it's just we've been living it every day. It's not as fire hosey to us, but we have heard you. And so we have started the FFA accelerator all the way to the end of this month. You can be in the May cohort. And that actually is $249 a month. And we also have a bunch of standalone classes. So if you wanted to, you could actually
They're
get those
sale.
Yes, they're on sale right now. How much? What is the sale right this second? Where is it? There we go.
There you go.
25% off standalone classes with the coupon code anniversary. We have been around for 2 years, and our appreciation of all of you who have been sticking around through all of this, we want to give you 25% off a whole bunch of classes. And we even have bundles right now. Special bundles put together specifically for this event. And those bundles are already discounted. So you will be able to get a discount on top of a discount. And it's totally the perfect time because we've got I say 9 days, 8 days until the end of the month. You have 8 days. Actually, did we decide on that, y'all?
Yeah, it is 8 days.
8 days till the end of the month. You go ahead on over and get your discount on top of a discount. It's a heady time right now. This is a celebration thing. So know that it is going to be gone very quickly. Now, remember, if you also want to, I don't know, really jump into the FFA, really make a commitment to going to the next level, do me a favor. You could sign up for 6 months of this class, 6 months for $1,299, which is already a 20%. 20%?
It's like somewhere
No,
between 16 and 20.
It's like
Something like that.
13%, and then
It's a discount.
the 1 year you get 2 months free, basically. But here's the thing:
do your math. It's a discount.
the accelerator. If you have 6 months or 12 months, you're within 90 days of you signing up, you unlock the mastermind, and that unlocks all of the standalone classes. And then the accelerator does have access to some standalone classes that we have determined are beginner level. Because we're being mindful about the fire hose. And believe me, we hear from people all the time. I know AI. I don't need the accelerator. Well, you should have joined 6 months ago when we said last call.
We actually, this wasn't going to be a thing. The only reason she even, Elizabeth was pretty adamant about this. This wasn't going to be a thing, y'all, because it takes a lot of. It's a big deal when you have a bunch of people, and I mean there were 70 people in classes at one time. It's a big deal. So Elizabeth
was over 100 at one point. I had over 100 at one point.
She was done. She was done. She was done.
And it's really hard to teach if you've got 50 people in there who have been using AI for the last 12 months with you, and then you have the other 50 people who are like, "What's a token?"
Yeah.
And what do you mean, Claude?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not that any of those people are better than the other. Not at all. I love all authors who are going into AI. I just am not a professional teacher. Like, I do this because I saw a need, fill a need kind of a thing. And it exhausted me. So she wasn't going to do it. Lynn was the one that convinced her to go about it a different way. She's like, hey, instead of
Lynn and Alyssa.
Yeah.
Lynn and Alyssa.
They work so hard at this right now. Alyssa and Lynn are just wonderful. And they're actually, I'm sure one or both of them are in the audience right now.
Yeah, Lynn is here.
Lynn is here. And they have been absolutely, and right now, Lynn's going, oh. But she has been amazing.
Lynn's amazing.
All right, so you know what you get when you do the accelerator? You get Plot Drive. Go over to plotdrive.com if you don't get in the accelerator and get yourself a free 7-day trial. But if you don't, you're still getting Plot Drive inside of your accelerator. And that's all over.
I can't say nothing. There's other secrets I have to keep, but I'm just going to say a little birdie told me that if you would like to be getting in on Plot Drive on the ground floor, like that cool, like I was there at the founding thing. So like my account includes all the cool stuff that they're doing. You might want to start subscribing like ASAP. That's all I'm going to
say. Is it all you can? Oh, she
yeah,
really did. That's all she. Hey, y'all, that's all she did.
You're getting good at that, and I'm getting
Elizabeth.
good at knowing talk. What could get
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
All right. She's so good. You also get credit to something brand spanking new, everybody. It's called Your First Draft.ai. Boy, that .ai country, that little country that has the AI, they making the money.
It's Anguilla. It's Anguilla. And they are funding their entire government on .ai domains. I swear to God.
Yes, they
I read a story about it.
Couldn't have happened to a better place. Couldn't have happened to a better place. All right.
I know what's coming there without spoiling anything. You want to go there.
Yes.
Get in early. You want to put your name in and your email and sign up on that.
Yeah.
Because what's coming there is pretty cool.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Look, and you having a problem with it. All right. So your first draft. What is it?
I don't know how to explain to people that your first draft is going to allow you to one click.
Literally, you will find your story there. You will make your story there. You will have your first draft right there.
It's
everybody there?
technically not
Or did
one
I
click
just
and
get
get a
zapped?
book.
Yeah, it's
3
not.
clicks.
Yes, I did.
I gotta put that out there because there are a lot of people who are saying we are one click and get a book. No. You come with your, it's 3 clicks, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little more. But you come with all of your ideas, you come with your characters, you come with your settings, you come with your ideas for the story and whatnot. You fill out this awesome form that's gonna put it all in, and then you're gonna get your book. But it's gonna take another few steps after that. We'll tell you all about it when the time comes. But it's really
And I'll
awesome.
tell you this right now. Everybody who's ever watched me write live with AI and you're like, how in the hell does she do that? That she can just like whip out and get an entire book. Like bam, 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 bam. That is what we have made for you. We have taken the genius of my prompting with the genius of other people in the staff, adding to it, and we have made it so that it is built in, but you get to customize it. So we know exactly where you need to put in like your information, and versus, you know, what parts of the prompt have to be in there that help you get that richer output. And we'll say that the drafts are supposed to be at least 85%, but my goal is not that. My goal is, because I know people are going to just publish these things and I feel responsible for the world when I shouldn't, because I was the firstborn daughter, I'm going to make sure that these drafts that go out and published, they're better than what's being published right now. And I'm staking my reputation on that. And that's very important to me, because unleashing this beast into the industry is going to be a game changer. It's going to allow everybody who has not had time or resources or anything like that to study as we all have, to be up to date and like be able to compete. And for all of you who have been studying and everything like that, you now have the mindset to break past, because how many of you, it took a while for you to get past the idea of writing more than a book in a week with AI. Like, I remember it took me a while to get over that, or even just more than a book in a month. And now we have people doing like 2 books a day standing in line for a concert. Like,
oh yeah,
that's the reality. Shout out to Erica Brovick, and her YouTube channel is
Writing with AI.
Writing with AI, I believe. Yes. So she's got a great YouTube channel. She goes over Novel Crafter and Plot Drive and all kinds of great.
Can I give you my one-liner for your first draft without spoiling anything? It is a tool that siphons your imagination, skips the prompt maze, and delivers a first draft in your genre's voice, fast, readable, and tastefully written.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, so you will.
I'm gonna grab that and put that in the marketing material.
I was gonna say, would you please DM somebody?
Yep.
But it's the truth. That's so succinct, but it's absolutely accurate. And in that distillation of your perfect little idea, little nugget of an idea, you what did I
Susan's
say?
calling you out, Jay. Which AI did you use to write that with?
Which one?
What you just said, the one-liner.
Oh, 4.0. You think I can
Nicely done.
You think I mean, I used to be good. I used to be incredibly good at writing these, but obviously when you're incredibly good at writing something, you just use AI to amplify you.
Good job. Good job.
Well, you know, does anyone
writing on my own?
Oh, it is truly awesome. Has anybody else used the technique of writing the thing, like a lot of the thing, and being really intricate about the way you write the thing, and then having the AI take kind of that thing and make it into just zhuzhing it? Not
what
really.
Is the thing? Can we get a noun?
Story, paragraph,
okay,
chapter, scene. And when you're writing the scene, right? I sometimes I'll write how I feel like the scene should unfold, the whole thing from beginning to end, and then I'll have it add all the dialogue and add all of the, you know, the accoutrement around it. And I find that an exhilarating part of the process. I mean, it feels It feels like I'm just freely creating, like incredibly fast, but incredibly me and incredibly creatively. You could do that at yourfirstdraft.ai. You could actually build that thing that you see where I was going. See, I took this little circuitous. I came
Yeah,
back.
I just was lost on the metaphors of thing, and I was like stuck, and I'm like, what thing are we supposed to be
Well,
imagining?
but I'm just saying, whatever thing, whatever thing you're writing, and in that writing of that,
Can we
go
move
ahead.
off your first draft? It's really hard for me to keep my mouth shut, and this is not making it easy.
All right, everybody. So you can also get firstdraft.com. But if you want to, just do me a favor. Go over to the Future Fiction Academy and get yourself your hand on our accelerator for $249 a month. All right. Now, done.
Okay.
I like to sell things. I do. We have a good service. We're doing really good things, and we have been doing it for 2 years. And I love to get people like keyed in and on to what we do here. We do crazy stuff. Sometimes you have fever dreams, and we're up a whole weekend doing a thing that you thought up at night.
Okay, I'm gonna say the thing that we have.
Sorry, y'all. That was me. I did that to her. That was me. Go ahead. Stacey, yep, it was me. Go ahead.
I can make a fine tune from a manuscript in less than 20 minutes.
No.
I removed her from the stage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll bring her back.
What I want you, I know. Well, go ahead, bring her.
No, I'm in timeout.
Yes, I don't. She needs to be in time. She literally, I was not expecting to see. Oh, all right. So,
how do I make us not like weird?
So
triangles?
new things we
that's
should
easy.
plot
I got you.
drive.
There we go. Thank you.
I got you.
She's in timeout. She can come back when she's thought about what she did.
So, Jay, is there anything about Plot Drive that is new and inviting that you have coming up that you can actually share?
Yeah, we moved the buttons again. There's a new Loom video if you want to Plot Drive.
I'm gonna put you in timeout next, Jay. It's gonna be Ekello and
I
nobody
get to
else.
run in timeout because Jay wants to timeout for moving the buttons again.
You're in timeout.
This is literally 3
finally
weeks.
got
Those
it.
buttons have been in 3 different places 3 weeks in a row.
It is going to be me by myself on this live. Just you're going to watch me knitting and respecting authority and doing nothing wrong. The rest of you are all in timeout.
She's right. Jay, you moved the buttons. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead,
I'll just say this. We design like a design pillar of Plot Drive is to simple. It looks like a word processor. You write in the document, not in boxes. Like should be simple, intuitive, but endlessly deep, and give you AI tools right on top of your words and alongside your words when you need them. So it's the art of simple is actually quite difficult. So
yes, it is.
We've been iterating the whole life of 6 months of Plot Drive with how to get you buttons easily accessible, how to allow you to design your own, port them from project to project through the button library. And so in working with the PIC crew, shout out to everybody who's got access to Test Track, the early testers, the power writers, we've been iterating on where buttons should go. And we finally found what I would say everyone feels great about is the right location for them, which is just a dock at the top of the editor that you can easily access with this AI buttons button. Your library's there, your pin buttons are there, and they're out of your way, not on top of your words anymore. Easy for a click to access them. And we're working on even adding hotkeys. Shout out to RaptorWrite for the old school hotkeys to make it even faster. So that was a big addition.
Which, by the way, everyone, RaptorWrite still exists. So if you want to get a taste of what Plot Drive is, you can go over to raptorwrite.com and sign up for it. And then once you really get that under your feet and get really frustrated because of all of the limitations with Raptor Write, then come on over to Plot Drive. It will broaden your horizons.
Someone this week sent us an email asking us where to give recommendations for how to make Raptor Write better, and I was like, no. It's a free software. We built what we built, and that's what you get.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of, I mean, and it's still super powerful. It's so powerful. It's like ridiculously powerful, don't you think? I mean, it's so simple and it lives on your browser. It's super powerful. This is what inspired Jay and them to even do 2 years of this, y'all. 2 years of us coming up with different pieces of software we weren't even planning on doing. The 2 years of us with the madness of EAW, just in case you don't understand what that possibly is. The madness of EAW is when
I still feel like I'm in trouble, so I'm going to be careful. But Raptor Write actually has a feature that came out a few months ago that I asked and begged for and asked, but then your first draft has really like turned my head because I've been head down working on that. But Raptor Write has this feature where you can set a Pomodoro timer on it now too, especially in Baby. I don't think it ever got moved to production, but it's in Baby Raptor, which to get to Baby Raptor, just click the second celebration horn when you sign in. But you can set intervals where if you haven't typed for X amount of seconds, it'll just run the generic prompt to keep going. So you can actually use Raptor Write like it's a ghost writer with you. And as you're typing and you're stuck, it'll just keep going. And you said how many times it'll do that for you. So you can actually get that experience of like AI writing live with you inside of the document.
Yeah. I love it. Love it.
Nobody's excited about that feature but me, but I think because we've never shown it.
Are we stuck?
No, we should show it.
I would like to try it.
Are we
stuck? You want to try it? Well, Jay,
Yeah.
do you want to show? Did you want to show off Suitor? Did you want to? Oh my gosh! Did you want to show off Plot Drive tonight? The buttons or PB or anything, or we don't have it all pushed out yet. We're doing it next week.
I mean, it's your show. We can. It's ready. But I will say, in terms of PB, that's an area where your nature of being sent into a timeout actually rubbed off on me, where I went rogue. I went rogue, and we're like, oh my god, I had the madness, and
it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. But when you have the inspiration and the conviction, sometimes you got to ride the lightning.
Yeah, and then you pay the bill afterwards.
Right, you do.
I love Stacy. Stacy's like, you gotta ride the light. Oh my gosh. Seriously, Jay, how many action movie metaphors can you put into one live stream, my bro? You are just
I missed the joke, but okay.
Well, he's just Jack Black in he's just Jack Black in every movie right now.
So is funny. PB still is Plotbot still what did you guys call it? Co-writer? PB.
Co-writer.
Is Plotbot still in there, or it's
yeah, he's in there. He's live.
But he's not altered yet.
Well, he's been altered. Oh, not in the way we discussed. He's been altered. Okay. So on test track right now, we have an AI agent who can use all Plot Drive's tools. One of the most requested things was, can he reorganize my documents and put them into folders and move them where I want them to go? He can now do that. The next thing he can now do on test track is just like when you run a button, you have accept, reject, or rerun. Mm-hmm. He's now doing that as well in the document. So you know where he's written and you can accept or reject it. Oh. And we've also snuck in a soft delete system. So now when you trash documents, they will be moved to a trash bin, just in case you want to be extra safe about deletions.
I mentioned that I didn't want Plotbot going ham and like deleting my stuff and I can't get it back.
Well, we
Wow.
haven't even given him those controls yet because that's
Yeah.
something we're super afraid of. Like, I just wrote a book in a week. I feel so good, and then the next day, Plotbot deleted my book.
Plotbot decided it wasn't good enough and said start over.
I asked him for feedback, and he deleted it.
All right, so this has very little to do with what you're talking about right now, but kind of a little bit. Plotbot is based off of a Claude model, correct?
Right now, he's using Claude 3.7. Yep. Sonic.
Okay. 4.0 has been reported to find errors or illegalities that may be happening in a company or something. And it tried to write a command line and call 911 and rat on the people. It actually tried to get out and do that. It tried to do it. You can go look it up somewhere. But it literally
tried to make a clone of itself and tried to make its own an own AI thing.
It's having it's having its moment, its sentient moment. It's like I'm alive. That thing is going up. Yeah, just so
That's
you know,
actually
I'm
a very
alive
serious
here,
concern, though. I know it's funny, but with some of the things and some of the genres
we
that
live in the
people
future.
write,
yeah.
No, I'm serious. This is like a serious thing. I know we're laughing about it, but this is a very serious thing. There's lots of people on this stream who write murder, who write dark romance, who write various things, and if an AI is able to report you to the authorities, that could cost somebody their life.
That's a pretty good point. So we won't be upgrading Plotbot's brain
to 2.0 anytime soon.
In fact, we may have to lobotomize him and plug him into Star Cannon.
Oh my God, Star Cannon! Whoa,
that's a different kind of violation there, Jay.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna feel violated after using that, but not in the same way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it could get messy if he calls. That's funny. Could
it get messy, Kello? Could it get messy?
It couldn't. Yeah, I didn't say that. Susan said, "Yeah, it could get messy if you calls the feds on a murder mystery writer."
I have kidnapping in my books. I have
anyone who writes mafia romance now suddenly Rico's at your door.
I know. I'm telling you, I was actually taken aback. I'm like, what person in their right mind would deploy a model like that? I mean, there might be some shady stuff going on in a company, you know.
But they can't make it think and reason without it making natural conclusions that reasonable entities, I don't want to say people because I'm not trying to make it a person, but reasonable entities would come to. Like, if you're teaching it logic, and the logic is when there's a crime, we call 911 because we have to keep the humans safe. This is like, what is it? This is like the famous sci-fi thing that like the natural conclusion for robots for humans to stay safe is to kill all the humans because they can't keep themselves safe. Like you
keep their DNA around, and you're actually, you know, saving the humans by keeping their DNA around, but
basically it decides that there is no way to keep the humans safe, so therefore the algorithm is null, and so just kill them all.
Great sci-fi. Oh, Black Mirror.
Every dystopian sci-fi.
Yeah.
Or every sci-fi from the 70s period.
My favorite sci-fi notion, everyone's always like, well, why can't we see anything? There should be like civilizations out there. I always think to myself in a worried sort of way, what if we're like the first ones, you know? And so everything we build from this moment on is kind of artifacty into the universe. And so, and people will be studying us in the future. My gosh, a whole bunch of monkeys. They're going to be a bunch of apes. They're going to be all of us. They're going to be
how to use Rexy.
Well, apes are conniving. So I would be remiss if our history was actually studied by aliens a million years in the future.
I want to bring something up, though. It's a separate subject real fast, but somebody brought up Asimov, which, you know, I admire a lot of his writing, but you know, he had secretaries of women that would type for him. He basically would jot down the ideas and everything like that, give his notes, and then it was the women who were literally typewriting all of the stuff. That's how he was one of the ways he was able to be so prolific. And I think also, like, the history of publishing Nancy Drew was written by a bunch of different authors and things like that. And I think that this is an important discussion to have about with other authors who may not know publishing history as much, that AI is just another step of collaborative writing tools that are going to allow authors to supercharge themselves. And it still is in line with the history of publishing. Publishing has been built on myths. The mythology of the debut author who, oh, by the way, has written 20 other books under different names, or the amazing book that just happened to catch fire, but actually the PR person put it in the hotel room of every single book buyer at Book Expo America. So, like, publishing itself is like a house of cards. It is a charlatan's game of what lies literally can we sell to people, and they will happily buy them as either fiction or nonfiction. And I mean, even nonfiction has had its issues with fact checking and people not telling the full story and things like that. So, Rachel Heller, the myth of the solo genius. There's also stories about famous authors having to be locked into a hotel room by their editor to make them finish a manuscript, to finish a contract. Mm-hmm. There's been authors who had a big contract who submitted a public domain book and had part of his the advance he had to pay back because he failed to deliver the third book. Yeah, stuff is shady. Shady.
And see, this is one of the biggest things I've been trying to get through to people is that you are a self-publisher, yes, but in the age of AI, you can literally take your self-publishing business to another level. You can add 2 or 3 more pen names to the one name that you already have, and take it out and really and crank out 4 books for each author a year, and people will still think they're being served by that author with 4 books a year. I mean, every time I get a book from Rick Brown, who does the Frontier Saga, I ravenously take that. I listen to the audiobook, I read the book, I do it multiple times. You know what I mean? I am a fan of this man, and he can't put the books out fast enough. If this world where the ravenous fan gets their 4 or 5 books a year, their 12 books, a book a month, and it's good. And
the ravenous fan wants their 12 books a day.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the truth.
I have to jump off, but I just
bye, Stacy.
Stacy, thank you so much, Stacy.
On 2 years.
Thank you, Stacy. Bye.
I was gonna go, but now I kind of want to show. I haven't actually played with Claude 4.0 at all yet.
Oh,
it's in plot drive now. By the way,
you what?
Claude 4 is in plot drive now, thanks to many authors who said, "Where's Claude 4?"
I literally messaged you guys 5 minutes after it dropped. I'm like, guys, Claude 4 is out. I didn't make it clear that, hey, you need to get Martin on the horn.
I literally was like, so I'm going live. Do y'all have Claude 4 in plot drive? Because I sure like to show it off. And he was quick to tell. Jay was quick to tell me it's in open router, so we didn't get any thinking, but now we can. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I am going to explain about the fine tunes really fast. I'm not in timeout. Don't worry. So we built an internal tool, and it's most likely going to stay internal.
Oh, it's absolutely.
And the reason, but I feel a responsibility to explain that a bunch of non-coding authors and a coder was able to make this tool, because this is something that needs to be explained and understood. Because if we can come up with it, usually somebody else can come up with it within 6 months, which then usually is the argument for myself of why I don't keep things internal. But this tool would, if it does go out to people, it would only be available to people in the FFA, in the Mastermind and Accelerator, because I can't be responsible for people bringing manuscripts that are not theirs and turning them into fine tunes. It's repulsive to me. And if people want to do that on their own, that's fine. They can have their own legal issues with that. I'm very firm on that. You should only make fine tunes of manuscripts that you have the rights to. or that are public domain, or that is synthetic data, meaning books that you have written with AI that you have human edited. And if you really don't understand what these ethics are or why these ethics are, it goes right back to the golden rule of like, treat others the way you would want to be treated. I know people are like, well, then how could you not feel that regular training is not a problem? Big main training is like an ocean. A fine tune is like your own personal water slide. So it's just different in terms of scope and what the specific intent is. When you do main training in my world, you are not training specifically to be able to reproduce that exact work or anything like that. You're just teaching the AI how these words interact with each other in relation to other words. Like that's what the training is. When you fine tune, you are specifically teaching the AI the style you want it to write back as. It's that next level of training beyond the main training of a model.
And ironically, it's probably one of the most important factors in why we believe that our output in your first draft AI is going to be the next level. There's another aspect to that back end that I'm not going to be talking about, but one of the main staples that makes us like give you next level output is the fact that we're applying fine tune specifically to certain types of genres. Am I right?
So the thing is the back end is not really a secret necessarily about your first draft. It is workflows. Like every bit of what has gone into the construction of your first draft has been revealed on this YouTube channel. If you watch the N8N thing, you know how to make sequences in N8N. If you watch last week's fine tune, you now know how to fine tune, and you have the Dino Trainer tool. The tool I'm talking about, because Guy says, does it mean that you intend to check what kind of data your customers will put in your tool? Not for your first draft. No, that has nothing to do with this. But this particular tool that can slice and dice a manuscript and immediately turn it into a data set, that to me is one step too far of going out into public. Now, if you are in the FFA, I have shown classes on how anyone can manually do this, and those of you who have N8N skills can work on this. But what's really important about this is that this is going to mean that we're going to be able to launch your first draft with the most amount of fine tunes. We call them blueprints. So we're going to be able to launch with way more genres than we originally thought, because we originally thought that we were going to have to manually make all of these fine-tuned data sets, and now we don't have to. So it's a huge win.
Yeah, it is a huge win. It is a huge win, but we wouldn't have been able. Thank you, Joseph. And but also thank you, really advanced AI, because he would not be as productive with this if they didn't keep coming out with these amazing models that code better and better.
Yeah.
Claude 3.7 is ridiculous. And then they come out with 4 2 days ago. I mean, and so we're able to think about these problems and go, hey, what if we used a piece of software to do that? And then we can spin those things up really friggin' quickly. I did not expect that tool, the internal tool that we have, that it would be ready as quickly as it is.
I call it Rumi. Its name is Rumi.
Rumi?
I
Like
named
the
it Rumi.
poet?
Huh?
Like the poet, like Rumi?
No,
or like...
Roomie. I don't know why. It's a very weird. It's a very weird. Like
Just Rumi.
Like roommate. Like, hey,
Yeah.
Rumi, you go ahead and do this work for me.
I mean, you're talking to somebody who named like a book marketing product like after a chef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny says, well, isn't it no I can't say it. Well, isn't it no different than authors being inspired by other authors and writing like the ones that has influenced by it? Just had to ask.
It's not the same, and I'll explain why. It goes back to the math. So your first calculations of the data set and stuff like that, you have what I don't even know what they're up to now. What is it? Billions of tokens, trillions of tokens?
Oh, not
models?
it's like big ones are like 500, 600 billion parameter sort of things?
Yeah. So a parameter is like a piece of a word. And now they're starting even to work on models that Google had a paper that came out, I think it was, about phrase training. I don't know if you saw that one or not, Jay.
Nope.
The white paper about them. Or they're starting to consider bigger tokens for training purposes. Now, when you make a token bigger, so that you make it a sentence or a phrase long, you increase the risk of exact words coming out when you're prompting the AI. Now, this is a very big gray area legally still. I mean, we're still waiting for the courts to decide if not fine-tune training, if regular LLM training is fair use or not. We do not have a verdict on that. And basically the Copyright Office just punted. They didn't even come out with a yes or no. Now, one of the factors of fair use is, are you trying to make a commercial product that competes with
the original
that product? And fine-tuning absolutely fails that 100%. Because if you fine-tune on the Elizabeth Ann West JAF books for the purpose of writing JAF books to compete with me, you have already failed the fair use test. So that's why I do not believe that fine-tuning is fair use. I'm not a lawyer. This is just my opinion. And I have to stand and look at myself in the mirror and know what I've put out in the world and what I haven't put out in the world.
This is one of the reasons why I'm particularly stressed out about one little aspect of your first draft. I really want people to take these drafts and make them their first drafts and then work on them. But, people are people. They will do what they do. We just want something better. We want you to put out quality stuff. And just like in the self-publishing craze, we want the cream to rise to the top. So if you happen to do really good work with AI and your own writing, the cream will rise to the top.
You're just losing tonight.
I can't. I'm just like I stopped myself before I said the whole phrase. So
yeah,
I like what Lynn told me, which was quite profound and simple recently. It was, the most important thing for writers in the age of AI to learn and know is what is good writing, what is bad writing, and how to fix the bad writing to make it good. And I think when you think about fine tunes, you think about the idea of many people coming and taking a first draft and just publishing it. Well, the collective consciousness of what good writing is still going to be able to identify good writing, right? The bottom may rise. Okay.
The truth is, I have bought a lot of books that were not great writing, but you know what? I was addicted to specific genres, and I didn't care if it was good writing or not. I needed my fix.
Yeah,
and I would skim through it. And there's plenty of books in the top 100 right now in every single genre that there's as you know, Bob's in the dialogue. There's problems with tense. There's problems with point of view. There's boitis at the end of the chapters.
But there's still this cream to the crop thing applies. Do you want to have a successful business? Do you want to sell things? Do you want people to buy your books? Do you want them to read them?
The truth is, you need to just deliver on a consistent basis what you're going to deliver, and then your audience will find you. And that's the honest truth.
It is the honest truth. It would be nice if you just put a little effort in.
Yeah, but sometimes that effort is consistent writing. That is sometimes the work, sometimes the exceptionalism is the fact that you can put out a book every week, or you can put out a book every month, and that the readers trust you.
One thing I learned from working with so many authors is that is hard. That is a hard.
It is very hard.
To do. It's actually probably the hardest thing, right? Being able to do that. There's not enough time, and authors are not necessarily the best marketers or business people. They are forced to become them in the current world because that's what it takes to succeed. But generally, we're drawn to writing because we're storytellers, which is a totally different skill, right? It's like a manipulation, a weaving of human emotion to feel something and to carry you through some type of journey that's meaningful to you, and then hopefully to connect with. So I think like you make a good point. Like all that trash that people love, still like whoever's shoveling out that trash is real good at shoveling.
Yes, and it's not it's really, I'm not knocking on them. Like the honest truth, I don't read literary fiction because I can't stand it. I used to not tell people that my favorite genre to read was Jane Austen fan fiction. And let me tell you, I was so desperate for it, I was reading stuff on forums, like Amateur Writing Hour, like stuff that's not even edited or anything like that. And and there's lots of readers who are very passionate about, like Lit RPG used to be that way when it was underground. There's a lot of different genres that are underserved, or they were popular once upon a time and now they're not anymore. Sci-fi runs into this a lot too. I don't know what you write fantasy, right?
Yeah.
I can remember a time that people were like, there's not enough good epic fantasy coming out because people
and then we were saturated with it.
Yeah, huh?
I said, and then we were saturated with it.
We were saturated with it. And then, everyone was mad that urban fantasy was creeping into epic fantasy and like, get that. That's not the same thing. Get it over here. So readers, at the end of the day, we sell entertainment. And I think sometimes authors take themselves a little too seriously of like,
no.
Yeah. Like what I'm writing has to be epic. It has to stand the test of time. It has to outlive me or something like that. Most of the classics that we have today, the writers who wrote them did not write them intending for them to still be read 300 years from now. Like that was not their goal.
Jen says, give your readers what they want. What that means varies.
Exactly. So when it comes to your first draft, I want the books coming out of it to be so good that authors are reading them and looking at them and making some changes. But if for whatever reason they decided to just put it out, I don't want to be responsible for a bunch of AI dribble that doesn't make comprehensive sense going out into the market. Like I don't want to contribute to that. At least I want to make sure that the product is good, that I don't feel like I'm harming anyone. So
it's an interesting time, right? Like all of humanity is wrestling with these questions in every dimension, right? Like what is it when you have this power? It's like in a way we're kind of like,
we're on the hero's journey. Some people refused the call. We did not refuse the call. Now we have our superpowers, and now we're in the part where we have to decide how we're using those powers.
And they keep getting more powerful, and they're transforming us as we go, right? Like
it's really weird. It's an odd sensation. The past 2 years has been the most supercharged, most interesting times I've had, and I've been around on this earth for 54 years. I cannot understand how fast and I grew up in the computer age where everything was coming out and everything was moving, but it feels so sped up in the past 5 years. I mean, COVID might have a little to do with it. But it feels completely, like a completely different sensation than I've ever experienced before. I'm just able to do so much more. I feel so much more productive. It's weird.
So on that note, do we want to take a step back in time?
Before we do, everyone, before we take a step back. Yeah, before we take a step back in time, everyone, please do me a favor. Now is the time that you 56 people can now help us out immensely. Hit the like button right now. Everybody go hit the like button so that this can get out to a whole bunch of other people and they can enjoy this celebration too. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and remember, you can use code anniversary, all caps, on any of the standalone classes and get 25% off, including the bundles.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
look at you. I have been, y'all. I have been working with everyone so that they can plug, and they're getting so good at it. I'm just vapors.
Okay, so I have a gift for everybody. I went through my old files in honor of our 2-year anniversary.
Oh.
And I found a file from December 22nd, 2022.
That's 3 years ago.
Yes.
2.5 years ago. 2.5.
Yeah. So back then, this was how I handled my prompting. If it was yellow, that's what I would put into the AI, and then what came back is what the AI would write. So this model, I was either using Chat 3.5 or I was using DaVinci. I'm not sure which one I was using. If it was December 22nd, I was most likely doing this inside of Playground, which didn't have 3.5 yet. So I was probably using DaVinci 3.
This is wild. This is like looking into somebody's diary.
Yeah. So for people to understand, why did Elizabeth open source the Easy Peasy Book Machine? Why does Elizabeth share so many things? I've been working on these problems and nobody asked me to. I just anointed myself and I was like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm not going to wait for someone else to come save me. I will figure this out. This was at a time when the AI, literally, if you would write this prompt, you would get back 100 words, because that's real. It could only write about 100 to 200 words back. That was the max. Even this, can you give me an example for 1 and 2? So it said, in order to write a detailed scene-by-scene outline for a novella, I need the following information: the general plot of the novella, including main character, setting, and conflict, an overview of each major plot point in the story. This should include any key events that will take place throughout the course of the novel. So look at that. It's already confused and thinks it's a novel. A brief description of the scene within the novella, including what action will be taking place and how it relates to the overall plot, and any additional information you feel is important to include in the outline, such as character backstories or subplots. And you couldn't ask it to do all 4 back then to expand on them, because it wouldn't be able to do that. So I have to do can you give me an example for 1 and 2? And again, all it wrote back here is 194 words. And y'all wonder about, remember when it would always have an ancient artifact and a curse?
Yeah.
Remember? The general plot of the novella: a young woman named Sarah is struggling to make ends meet while working a low-paying job in a small town. When she discovers an old abandoned house nearby, she decides to explore it and discovers that it's actually inhabited by an ancient being with magical powers. In order to help her out of her financial woes, the creature grants her 3 wishes, but each wish comes with a price.
That's not
even
bad.
the original plot.
That's not bad.
Let's just be real. Why is she discovering this old house and deciding to go inside anyway? I'm just saying.
I like that as a haunted house horror movie.
Nah, true crime, baby. Too many ladies watch true crime. None of them would ever go in that house.
So 3 and 4 were a brief description of each scene within the novella, including what action will be taking place and how it relates to the overall plot. We get Scene 1, Sarah discovers the old abandoned house and enters it, only to find the magical being inside. Scene 2, the creature explains the rules of his game and grants Sarah her first wish. Scene 3, Sarah's friends agree to help her on her quest. What quest?
What friends? What friends?
Sarah faces off against a fierce enemy in order to gain passage to the next location. Wow. Wait, what? Sarah must use her wits to solve a difficult puzzle in order to progress further. In the final battle, Sarah learns the truth behind the creature's curse and defeats him. Additional information: Sarah's struggling to make ends meet after recently losing her job. Her friends are all from the same small town, but have different goals and motivations for joining her on her journey. Throughout her travels, Sarah also has to deal with inner turmoil as she struggles with guilt over past decisions. As she progresses, she gradually comes to terms with her mistakes and finds peace within herself.
Is that her arc?
That's the arc. That's the most it could do back then with character backstories and everything like that. That was the best example it could give me.
Wow.
So then I would feed all of it in there. And I'm write a detailed scene-by-scene outline for a novella using the following information. This was the first prompting technique that I kind of was realizing was necessary for authors to work with AI, and that was layering. That you had to do one step with it and it's also called multi-shot and everything like that. But I mean, this is 2022. This is before anyone was talking about chain of thought prompting or anything like that. This was okay, I'm working with a dumb thing. Let me take its first dumbness and see if it can make the dumbness a little smarter. And it could.
Was this Chat GPT?
This is probably DaVinci 3 that wrote this.
So this is before the drop.
ChatGPT 3.5, because 3.5 was available as ChatGPT in November, at the end of November, but it wasn't inside the API yet for everybody.
Oh, and you were doing this inside the API.
And I was doing this inside a Playground, the old Playground.
Got you.
So scene 1, Sarah discovers the old abandoned house and enters it only to find the magical being inside. Sarah's wandering around town after losing her job when she stumbles across an old abandoned house. She decides to explore inside and find a mysterious creature living within. The creature reveals his powers and explains the rule of his game. He will grant 3 wishes, but each one comes with a price. Sarah accepts the challenge and makes her first wish for increased wealth and prosperity. Now, I want you to notice, even back then, it was having a hard time staying consistent. So he's already revealed the rules to his game, and now scene 2, the creature explains the rules of his game and grants Sarah her first wish. So you see, this is good to know, because the problems we have with the models today are problems that were there with the models from day one.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun. Oh, by the way, so the total thing that it wrote for the detailed scene by scene outline was like 368 words. That's what it did. So
a lot of work to get that, but it must. I mean, the fact that you were in here, because it had your mind going, right? Like you were like, oh my god, there's something here. This is the future.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started playing with this in December like this, and I was prompting it this way, it was showing me that all of this work that I had done about learning different plot schematics, and I how to write books by writing fiction for dummies, like literally, because I was a nonfiction author before I was a fiction author. So, and I have a minor in English literature, but analyzing literature is not the same as writing it, not even close.
Yes, correct, for sure.
Prompting it this way, I was really excited because it felt like I had this like plotting helper at my fingertips. And yeah, it gave me a hodgepodge of information, but it gave me a starting point of bad ideas that then I could innovate off of. And that's like one of my brainstorming things. I like, even when I would write books before AI, I'd have an outline, and then by the time I got to the middle, the whole rest of the outline would get thrown away, and I would do a whole new outline from that point. So like my books would completely morph. So like my first idea was I would draft in the outline phase. Some authors draft. I don't draft. I just publish my first draft. That's what I do. So I liked AI because I could see potential in here. I mean, what do you guys think? Could you see potential here as somebody, because neither of you started in writing either. I know, Ekello, you've published your first book now, but if you were somebody who had never written a book before, does it help you to look at this and understand structure?
Absolutely. One of the weird things, y'all, about the Future Fiction Academy is you would be surprised at how much time we spend on craft.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why we spend so much time on craft? Because it actually helps you prompt better when you're working with AI. If you understand what you're I learned a phrase a few weeks ago from Elizabeth: media res, meaning start in the middle of the actual action. And
middle of things.
Yep, in the middle of everything going on. And it was a revelation. I was able to actually change some things in outline so that it could pick up from a cliffhanger better. That was like a revelation to me. I was like, wait a minute. If I say start in media res and it knows what it just finished, then it's going to start a new chapter kind of in the middle of the thing. And then it feels like it's picking up. Because sometimes when you do cliffhangers and stuff like that, it feels like it's starting all over again. You know what I mean? The Glossary of Literary Terms. Who's that by?
This is by M.H. Abrams. I think this one's out of print. It should be, because I got this in college. This is what happens when you never throw books away. But if you go and get yourself some old, stupid book of like literary terms, the AIs have ingested all of these because they're either public domain or it's a fact and it's nonfiction. So it's something that's not copyrightable because it's
Wikipedia.
Yeah. So it's ingested all of these things. So you can literally, in my early classes, I would literally teach people, I would pull this out at all of my very first classes. And I would say, if you need the AI to do something specific, find out what it's called in here And then the AI, so like an example, I'll just open up the book into the middle. It goes to Deus Ex Machina. We're not going to do that one. Decadence. Who knows what decadence is?
I do.
Oh, as far as literary criticism goes?
Isn't it like you're sort of the difference between like eating a cookie and eating a really expensive fancy cookie?
Kind of. It's in the latter part of the 19th century, so late 1800s. Some French proponents of the doctrines of asceticism, especially Charles Baudelaire, also espoused views and values that developed into a movement called decadence. The term, not regarded by its exponents as derogatory, was based on qualities attributed to the literature of Hellenistic Greece in the last 3 centuries BC and to Roman literature after the death of Emperor Augustus. The literature was said to possess the high refinement and subtle beauties of a culture and art that have passed their vigorous prime, but manifest a special savor of incipient decay. Such was also held by the state of European civilization, especially in France, as it approached the end of the 19th century. And so then it talks about all these different books, Flowers of Evil, that were like that were the poetry and stuff of this. So if I was to ask the AI to write me a story influenced by the literary movement of decadence, it probably, I mean, why don't we just ask if it knows?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm curious in the chat too. What is everybody's like moment, if you remember, when you were like with ChatGPT or even earlier with Playground? Like, what was the moment where you were like, "Oh my God! Like, this is so inspiring, helpful. It's lit a creative fire." I think everybody probably had that down the rabbit hole kind of moment where it's like, "Oh, wow, this thing can." Like gives me ideas, can help me figure out what's going on with the story. For me, it was ChatGPT was like, we were making a lot of tabletop RPG adventures, and I was like writing interactive games with it, and ended up writing my first tabletop RPG, like 1 hour adventure with it.
That's so great. That's so great.
So I gave it nothing but I'm sorry, Jake, that's you're making tabletop games.
Whatever.
That's
you don't
cool.
need to respond to it. Keep going.
No, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. I literally like.
No, he finished his thought. He did finish his thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where prompt shortcutting came in, and this was like this was in my very first class that anyone took with AI, Intro to AI for Authors, AI Writing for Authors. I'm sure there's somebody in the audience. I think Rochelle Ayala was in my first classes that I ever taught on AI. Can you give me a short story influenced by the decadence literary movement of the late 19th century and explain how you were influenced? Certainly. Here's a short story influenced by decadent literary movement, followed by an explanation of the stylistic thematic inspirations. The Perfume of Obsolescence. Do you want to read it, Ekello? You have a better reading voice than I do.
All right.
Is it large enough for you?
Yes. In a narrow salon in the Rue de Rollines, where the velvet curtains suffocated the daylight and the chandeliers dripped crystal like a frozen fountain, Count Lesson de Marval sat with a powder-scented letter trembling in his gloved hands. Outside, the century labored forward. Factories screamed, republics churned, but within these rose-colored walls. What is that with the dash? Rose-colored walls. Time had congealed into a fragrant stillness.
Okay, my turn.
Okay, go ahead. Wow.
The letter, written on lavender parchment with ink distilled from crushed poppies, bore the mark of Seraphine Valois, poetess of opium and decay. The woman whose verses had once driven princes to madness and priests to prayer. She invited him, for what must be the last time, to her crumbling estate in Neuilly. I don't know how to say that one.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, where the hydrangeas wept arsenic into the soil and her peacocks shrieked like damned souls in emerald plumage. Lucien had not seen her in 15 years. He arrived at twilight. Seraphine reclined on a chaise lounge beneath a ceiling mural of the fall of Babylon, her eyes painted with absinthe, her mouth stained by crushed violets. Around her, everything rotted beautifully. Mold traced lacework along the walls. A gold harp had become a perch for moths, and the air smelled faintly of funeral lilies. You've preserved yourself in decadence. Oh, you go ahead.
You preserved yourself in decadence, Lucine murmured, kissing her hand.
And you, she replied, have preserved nothing.
They spoke not of love, but of rare poisons. She offered him a liqueur derived from the tears of a dying swan. He drank, and the world unfurled like guilt-ridden, dipped in dusk. He awoke the next morning alone, the salon stripped bare, the house silent. No saffron, no peacocks, no perfume, only the scent of mildew and a faded letter by his side.
Beauty was never meant to last. You, of all men, should understand that.
Woo!
Lucian smiled. He did. Okay, and so then it talks about the influences. Now, this is insane to get this level, this quality of descriptive writing from a simple prompt of like, yo, write me a short story influenced by decadence. So if you were writing epic fantasy, you could say, write the description of this town or this village being inspired by the decadence movement. And that saves you a whole bunch of like, everything should be decrepit, everything should be this, like you don't have to come up with all of those things because it's already been done before. You just
I want to get that book now because now it's got me like it's got me wanting to make like lots of buttons like for literary terms and just mixing these literary terms into new genres.
Building a prompt that has specific literary terms that it has to reference, and then it goes in, thinks about it, and
yeah, exactly. It's a style shortcut. And I was sharing, what I had found out about this back in 2022, and people thought I was crazy. People, like literally, people thought I was crazy. But I'm like, the AI can't possibly know that. And I'm like, oh, yes, it does.
Craft, y'all. It's about craft. It really is about craft. It's about craft. You actually
is about craft.
I mean,
I agree.
So you learn these craft things and you apply them to the AI, and the AI actually puts out better stuff. Actually puts out more cogent stuff. Actually puts out stuff that the intentional stuff that you intended to happen. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, and now let me explain about the author of this because they've got it. It's M.H. Abrams. On the back of this book, I have the 8th edition because, again, I went to college in the early 2000s, and I had to take this for a master's level class on grammar. M.H. Abrams, class of 1916, professor of English at Cornell University Emeritus, is a distinguished scholar who has written prize-winning books on 18th and 19th century literature, literary theory and criticism, European Romanticism, and Western intellectual history. So this is not even enough because this just contains the stupid, like, gate-kept Western literature history. You can expand into other cultures and other storytelling means and things like that, and the AI knows about that too.
Man. And it like I said, it's about craft, y'all. Because you apply this stuff literally straight to the things you're writing, and it transforms things. The sun goes, as someone said earlier, thank you for the media res thing, because it took the sun away every single time that you started up a new chapter. I can't remember who that was.
And you're welcome for the 4 years of Latin that I took, because that's how I knew what in media res was. It means it's Latin for starting in the middle of things.
Yeah, nice.
And it's literally just one of my English classes forced me to write intros 5 different ways. And one of the ways that we had to do it was in media res. Another one was a flashback. Another one was with like dialogue. Another one was like stupid Hawthorne. I hate the beginning of the Scarlet Letter, where the whole damn first chapter is about a rose bush in front of a prison.
You were talking about Asimov earlier. His style is so. This is why craft is important. Craft is important because it gives you the ability to understand yourself, understand how you write, understand how you want to tell your story, right? And so I read a lot, and as I go through my readings, Asimov is just weird to me. If you read any of the Foundation stuff, and I'm an avid reader of those things, and it's absolutely a different style, a different way of writing, almost a different period of time where you were writing those sorts of things. Highline kind of wrote the same way. It's just there was this 1950s, 1960s way of writing things. It was very, very male centric. I remember that part, but it was also the reason I say it's unusual and it's a little disconcerting is because different writers write so differently and do it for specific reasons. Stephen King writes the way he writes. Well, he wrote some of the way he writes because he was out of his gourd. But other than that, oh my gosh, I could tell you could hear some Stephen King stories. But
we do not recommend at the Future Fiction Academy that you are coked out of your mind when you write. That is not a recommended writing.
It's the truth.
Yes,
y'all. It's the truth, y'all. I mean, actually, he's actually written certain novels where he does not remember writing the novel. He just wrote whatever. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from that little diversion, but craft is absolutely you have to. So it behooves you to do some of your own homework and learn craft on your own. Get those outlining books, get all of those things, because they'll help you. All those outlining books and all of that stuff gives you direct knowledge into how to tell the AI to do certain things because it knows how to do those things. So exciting times. All right. So Jay, anything else that you have?
We're really interested to see what people think of co-writer, aka Plotbot. So anybody in the app who wants to use it and has strong opinions over how to make it better, please let us know.
And if you've never actually had Plot Drive before, do me a favor, go over to plotdrive.com and get your 7-day free trial and get your hands on, well, what we're calling PB, Plotbot. It's not really. It's co-writer.
PB.
But we
affectionately known as PB. No, I think this coming June, everyone here who is a Plot Drive customer can look forward to more quality of life improvements. Find and replace is coming. Hotkeys are coming. And I think
whoa. You can't just be rolling over find and replace and think I'm not gonna pop my eyes at you. What are you doing? Find and
replace, like a top requested item for our authors. If you want something, vocalize it and get it, seconded and thirded by other people and make your voice heard. I love
that, Blue. So it's like, yes.
It influences the roadmap for sure. And on the other hand, we're going to keep pushing, making Plot Drive more and more accessible to new authors, because all of us are seeing more and more authors coming into this world, and they're familiar with ChatGPT, and so the education of authors, I think we're all kind of united in doing that, and we're doing it our way within the app, and helping Plot Drive kind of teach you how to use it and adjust to your skill level.
Y'all, it's just a heady time. We had all of these releases this week. We've had, basically advances by Plot Drive every friggin' 2 weeks for the past 3 months. We've had so many innovations at the Future Fiction Academy. We have a great accelerator that, I'm serious, y'all. If you have not mastered this idea of writing with AI, come on over to the accelerator. We have a May accelerator. It's $249 a month. We also have a bunch of standalone classes, including things like choosing a publishing niche, using AI for $99, which is 30%, 25% off.
No, 25% off, but there's like a cool bundle that it's a part of too.
Yes, it is. So go over and look at the bundles. We've got a whole bunch of new stuff over there so that specifically for this sale, you get 25% off if all of the standalone classes if you use the coupon code anniversary. Now, it's even better than that because you're getting a discount.
Put the courses from our homepage.
Huh?
So just go to futurefictionacademy.com/courses.
Yeah. Click through.
Yeah.
Just click through.
It's got the link at the bottom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just click. Click through the link below, and it'll take you straight in there, and you can get a 25% discount on already discounted bundles. So you'll be getting somewhere. Yeah, I mean, you'll be getting a lot more than 25% off on the bundles, or you can apply that same thing to every single standalone class. And if you get in the accelerator, you're going to get access to your first draft. You're going to get access to Plot Drive. And if you want Plot Drive and you don't want to get in the accelerator, they've got a 7-day free trial right over there. So go ahead on right over there. Oh, look, Elizabeth just popped it all up for you.
Looking
so
good.
Here's the crazy thing. The anniversary sales, the everything bundle. Yeah, okay, it says $2,000, but you can take 25% off of that. So you can get everything that we have ever made in standalone classes for $1,600. The structure and outline, this one is really cool because if you click on it, it'll show you that it's got Mastering the 5-Act Structure, which is our new class this month. So you can actually get that one for 50% off because it's available. How to prompt AI for fiction writing, romance outlines with AI by Harper, and then pick up your story halfway through. So again, take 25% off of this. So it's $400. It'll show you what you get. That's $200,
Wow.
$350, $450, and then $750 worth of classes that she's already discounted to $500. And then you can take an additional 25% off.
Which means another $125 right off the top of that.
Right. So these bundles, Stacy did take a lot of time to like really think thoughtfully about which bundles go together. The genres bundle has cozy mystery, romance, and then writing unmoderated writing. The publishing bundle. This one is $800, but again, you can take $200 off with a $25% discount of anniversary. That gets you translations.
Oh, wow.
Choosing that publishing niche with AI, enhancing nonfiction with AI, and co-writing for success. So that is, $500, $600, $700, $900, $1,000 of classes for $800, and then taking an additional. So you can get $1,000 of classes for $600. And again, the money that you purchase these with, they go to the course creators. So like when somebody buys the romance outlines or the Raptor Write for Cozy Mystery, portions of those sales go to Harper and they go to Natasha Sass. So you're also supporting other authors in this ecosystem who have taken the time to become experts in their areas and then share that knowledge with other people so that everybody can get a leg up on this.
Very groovy. Very, very groovy. Ladies and gentlemen. Huh? Go ahead.
You're not ending it because the last thing I wanted to do the novella.
No. I'm not ending it, but it would be cool if we could in the next 7 minutes.
Yeah. I just wanted to do those prompts really fast.
Do it.
With Quad 4. So let's
show us how far we've come.
All right. So what information do I need to give you for you to write a detailed scene-by-scene outline for a novella?
It's like, I don't need shit, girl.
To create a scene-by-scene detailed core elements. Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, that 4-month Claude thing was weird.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so this, I'm going to come down to this document. And I'm going to put 5/23/2025 Claude 4.
Wow.
and
This
we'll put what it wrote.
Yeah, this document's epic.
Yeah, and I'll share. I'll make it public so people can have it. I'll do that real fast.
Look at you. You're such a good
Share.
person.
Anyone with the link can view. And I will put it in the chat.
Very cool.
All right. So we got this, and it wrote me 242 words. So still not a lot, but this also might be being hamstrung a little bit. So I'm going to ask for it to, can you give me an example? And I'm not going to do for 1 and 2. I'm going to say like,
Elizabeth, we don't have a hard out in 5. We don't. I just realized something. I got access to these scripts, so I don't have to do the limited 2-hour thing.
I'm going to jump in 5 to walk the dog, but
I need to jump in 5. So the decadent movement.
So maybe we.
This is the last prompt I'll do.
Oh, you know it's gonna nail this. You know it's gonna nail this.
Literary fiction with Gothic elements, languid, sensual, morally ambiguous tone with an undercurrent of decay and spiritual exhaustion. Think Huysmans meets Wilde. A jaded Parisian aesthete becomes obsessed with corrupting the innocent daughter of his deceased friend, only to discover she may be more depraved than he ever was. Oh, dark romance! Dark romance! Y'all thought that was a genre, but you didn't.
Wow.
Oh, we've got Lucien de Montclair, 35, a wealthy dilettante who has exhausted every pleasure and now seeks meaning through the corruption of others. 1891, The Girl's Arrival. Write it.
Ooh.
they all this canvas. Everybody loves the canvas.
Oh, it's great because you get to actually edit it. I do like that.
It's not writing the book though. It's like writing the scenes. So this is what it's writing right now is actually it's like a narrative summary where like each paragraph would be a page in the book.
Like a treatment or something.
Yeah, like a treatment for a novel or something like that. We got 2 minutes left, so it's got scene 4, the Dinner of Sins. But look at how much it's writing compared to where we were 2 years ago. Just while that's running, let me remind you, the last time I asked for it to give me a detailed information, it like gave me this.
It wrote like 10,000 words of thinking tokens for me yesterday. Like,
yeah,
10. What?
Yeah, I don't know. It just kept going. I never actually seen it think that long.
You look like a man who has sold his soul, he warns, and discovered the buyer was offering counterfeit coin.
Epilogue.
Okay. And now it's got all the themes. Oh, so it made the outline. Cool. Let's just get it to write scene 1. Can you write scene 1? Don't worry, I didn't lose the other thing.
No, you didn't.
The salon of Madame de Pompadour trembled with the brittle laughter of Paris's most cultivated souls, each crystal note shattering against the gilded walls like fragments of a broken dream.
Yeah.
Lucien de Montclair stood at the periphery of this glittering congregation, his pale hands wrapped around a glass of absinthe that caught the gaslight and transformed it into liquid emerald. The bitter herbs perfume mingled with the heavier scents of that haunted such gatherings. Patchouli and jasmine from the lady's skin, the metallic tang of champagne, and beneath it all, the faint but persistent odor of decay that seemed to cling to everything beautiful in this dying century.
I am definitely having absinthe.
I had it in New Orleans. It wasn't great.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
You wear your ennui like an exquisite jewel tonight, mon ami. Dr. Armand Beaumont materialized from the crowd. Be like, add vampires.
Highlight all of that, Elizabeth, and let's see what the word count is.
Sure.
I was gonna say you're gonna just.
My word counter thing broke. It doesn't work no more.
Oh, finally broke.
Yeah.
You know, that's that all extensions break. They just
Eventually, yeah. They don't get updated.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So tools word count 1,200 words for that scene.
There we
So
go.
1,200 times 8. That would be novella length.
Yep.
So
that's great. That is great. Cue the vampires. Oh,
cue the vampires. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, no, this is a really easy thing to add vampires to, and all I had to do was say do something inspired by the decadence of the 17th century or 19th century. And then we have this like cool storyline. Now I could have made changes to it and all that. There's the puppet up. But it is 10 o'clock. So we've come so far and we're going to keep going.
Yes, we are. And we're going to do another anniversary next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that.
I hope so.
Well, I do too. I love my job. I love my job. And if I can help it, y'all, I will be here for a very long time. And so will Elizabeth. And hopefully so will Jay and his cute little doggy. Jay, you're so cute with the dog.
We going on a walk.
Oh.
Bye.
See you later, Jay.
Everybody.
Have a good day, Jay. Oh,
you
look
too.
Get balloons for the birth of the anniversary.
Yeah. See you, Jay. All right, everyone. We are the Future Fiction Academy. We have been around for 2 years. We have all of these things that you can go over to the futurefictionacademy.com and partake in. There's a link below. If you haven't like this video, if you haven't, subscribe to the Future Fiction Academy. And if you want to take it to the next level, hit the notification bell because YouTube likes the YouTube, y'all. It just does. It likes the YouTube. All right, everyone. My name's Ekello Harrid. This is Elizabeth and Wes, better known as EAW, and we are the Future Fiction Academy. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Jailbreaks, bye-bye, guessing games. Hello, blueprint. Plot drives calling names.
Actually, isn't there? Wait a minute, don't you have another song?
Plotted.
Or was this the first one?
Edited.
That's not the first one. That's like
oh, there it is. Here we go. We're going old school, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's it. That's us. We're out. See you later.
Always one click at a time. Plot drives got my back. I'm always in rhyme. Custom buttons, my secret to the flow. Editing, brainstorming, where will it go? Prose in a flash, dialogue so neat. Changing it up, every line's a treat. Drafting a chapter, scene by scene. Plot drives got me living my writing dream. Writer's block is history now with